Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leo Mookie here, back with you with another new chapter of my DxD Academia. And thanks a lot for the love, guys. I really appreciate appreciate what you guys have to say for the first, chapter. But I will let you guys know this now that I actually feel like I can do high school DxD crossovers with MHA now. I can actually do some fanfics that are a lot more interesting than just, this. This was just a start. That doesn't mean that I'm probably going to be more obligated to basically do this story after all. So just letting you guys know this now. Uploads for this story will be a lot more slower than they were before. But even so, I hope you guys can still enjoy my other future MHA high school DxD fix in the future for this channel. Anywho, with all that said, let's go to that of a quick recap. In the last chapter, we went on that of the story of Izuku Midoriya as his first month at Kuo Academy as a first year, as he was able to get a scholarship into that of the prestigious once all-girls school, now co-ed school. Even with that scholarship, turns out many of the female students can't stand a lot of guys, mainly because all of the guys that get into that of Kuo Academy are all perverts after all, except a select few. However, Izuku doesn't care about that and only cares about getting his education. Even though there are many girls that don't like him for just being a guy and don't trust him because he could be a pervert, even though he's not, there are some girls that actually do like him and that are still his friends, such as Ochako Uraraka, and his senpai, Eika Kiryu, and some that are also taking a liking to Izuku as well, mainly for something else inside of him. Not only that, he was also asked out by that of a mysterious girl that he knows nothing about, especially since he doesn't go to any of the schools nearby, finding out that she was a fallen angel, trying to kill him, with then showing off his sacred gear, his Longinus sacred gear known as Dividing, making him the current generation's White Dragon Emperor, as this is the tale on how he became the Supernatural's greatest Satan. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 1, Izuku Midoriya's Origin. While Izuku is still in the air, seeing the crater on that of the fallen angel known as Raynare, within he begins to remember on how he has come this far from that of a wimpy kid that always wanted to defend the innocent, but always got his ass beat, to now somebody is actually one of the strongest sacred gear users of the current generation. As then he goes into that of a flashback about that of 10 years ago, with Izuku on that of a playground, with then standing in front of that of a young boy, with that of a somewhat girlish face actually, as they have that spiky brownish hair with their eyes closed and basically whimpering a bit in pain. Within Izuku, a little bit worried, saying, "Come on, Kachan, stop! You're taking it too far by hurting him." With then soon a boy with that of ashen spiky blonde hair, with that of crimson red eyes, and two other boys behind him. One boy with that of buck teeth and wearing that of a cap, as he has that of brunette hair, while the other being that of a fat boy with that of shaven hair, as they, within soon, the ashen blonde, known as Kachan, or rather Katsuki Bakugo, saying, "Come on, Deku, we were just messing around. It's not my fault that basically a weakling like him can't handle a little roughhousing. All the same that you should be at least a little gentle with everybody." With then soon The spiky blonde couldn't help but get at least a little bit annoyed at his friend, saying, "Are you trying to talk back to me, Deku?" With then saying, "I'm just saying, it's just me. If you keep doing that, that just makes you a bully." With then saying, "Whatever. Come on, guys. Let's not stay around the weak losers. We'll be waiting on you when you come back, Deku." With then soon, all the three boys walk away. As for the other little boy, he couldn't help say, "You okay?" Saying, "Yeah, I'm fine. Just, all I wanted to do was just play with them, and that other guy just basically pulled on my hair, and it really hurt." With then getting that of a better look at them, as again they had that of a girlish face, but however they also have that of very deep purple eyes. With then soon Izuku saying, "That's just Kachan for you. I know that he can be. He means well. He just thinks that everybody has a strong body like me. After all, It's easier said than done." With then soon she's saying, "How are you friends with a jerk like that?" Saying, "Hey, Kachan's not that bad. Trust me. He's just, like I said, plays a little rough." With then soon the two standing up saying, "You're way too nice to be around somebody like him. What's your name?" With then he's just saying, "Oh, right. I think I should have introduced myself. My name's Izuku. Izuku Midoriya. Yours?" With then they say, Irina Shido." With then saying, "Wait, Irina? That sounds like a girl's name." With then she's saying, because I am a girl." With then say, "What?" Getting a better look of their attire, with ease as they wearing that of a regular t-shirt, shorts, and that of sneakers. Not only that, with their hair also quite short as well. They kind of Izuku expected them to be that of a boy after all. With then Izuku saying, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you were a girl. I mean, if I knew that, I would have told Kachan to hold back. After all, he's not as much of a jerk to girls as much people thinks." With then saying, it's okay. Honestly, it's my fault for wearing stuff like this. It's just a lot more comfy, though. I'm not a big fan of dresses, to be fair." With then Izuku saying, "Never met a girl like you that's like that before." With then saying, why did you come to the park, though?" With then she's saying, a friend of mine that lives in my neighborhood. I wanted to spend time with him to get today here, but seems like he didn't decide to come at all." With then saying, "Oh, that's a bummer. Hey, if you like, you and I can play together." I mean, with then saying, "Really? But what about your other? I could spend time with Kachan anytime. After all, me and him live pretty close to one another. We also go to the same school, so we can spend time together anytime we wish. If you want, you and I can spend time together instead." With then hearing this saying, "All right. Well then, Izuku, let's play." As the two young kids can begin to play around the park for a little while, as this would be the start of their childhood friendship. However, wouldn't last too long, as a year later, Irina and her family would move away out of Kuo. As for that other friend of hers, turns out, little Izuku didn't know this at the time. Hell, still probably doesn't know it right now. But turns out that other friend was Issei Hayato, his future senpai and future leader of the perverted trio. But back then, he wasn't really much of a pervert. He was still a normal kid, which Izuku did spend time with him from time to time. Finding out that Irina and him were actually 1 year older than him was quite a shock, but he didn't really care. But even so, when Irina left, they didn't even spend time together as much as they did before, especially since they went to different elementary schools too. As for his relationship with Bakugo, on the other hand, well, let's just say that became quite rocky, to be honest. Bakugo was always the self-entitled kind of kid. Always tried his best to prove that he is the best. That he'll always be the best. That he's, when it comes to either sports, academics, socializing, he just did it. Just to prove a point that he can basically do anything. From time to time, it worked. From other times, not so much. During their middle school, during their junior high years, Bakugo had that bit of a love-hate relationship with the entirety of the student body and even the teachers themselves. The teachers admired his hard-working attitude and always trying to prove that he can be one of the top-ranking students, especially during their first year at Aldera Junior High. However, they didn't like on how much he belittled other students, though, as each student tries their best. But even so, Bakugo didn't really give a damn. If you couldn't beat him, well, then you're basically no bother to him. Such as when it came to everything else. However, for Izuku, on the other hand, when he came to Aldera Junior High, at first, nobody really paid him any attention, to be honest. Yeah, he had the highest grades academically, hell, even higher than Bakugo, which basically hit his fragile ego. Since then, Bakugo basically spent almost his entire life during their junior high career to basically make Izuku's life a living hell. You would think that nobody wouldn't bother because, again, Bakugo has a love-hate relationship with the students. However, some students didn't want to get on his bad side. And due to him being, just as I said before, a social butterfly, everyone basically, jumped on the goddamn bandwagon and also began to bully Izuku as well. A few times teachers did try to step in, but only a few teachers, not all of them. Given that this is Japan after all, they blame the victim just as much as they blame the bully, especially not doing anything to stop it, or not able to stand up for themselves. Izuku, on the other hand, there were a few times he tried to stand up for himself, but why bother? Nobody really gave a damn about him. Well, that's originally what he thought. Until it was during a bully session that he met a certain girl that ended up actually looking after him and ended up being somewhat of an annoyance of his entire life as well. As he getting up from that of the beating and the teasing as always, he begins to walk home saying, if you keep on basically being a punching bag to them, that's all that they're going to think of you as and everyone else as well. With then Izuku basically turning around, seeing that of a familiar brunette-haired girl with that of twin braids and glasses, wearing the Aldera school uniform, as she has a bit of a smirk before then saying, "Oh, hey, Kiryu-senpai." Within, she began to pout saying, "Hey, we're basically neighbors, you do know that, right?" And I looked after you as well. You can call me Eika, or at least Eika-senpai. Then Izuku saying, right, Eika-senpai," as he begins to blush quite a bit, as she's really close to him. Then she begins to giggle saying, it's really fun messing with you. Boys like you are so cute. Then she couldn't help but giggle at least a little bit more, saying, "Come on, I should probably get you bandaged up before your mom shows up." Then Izuku basically walking to that of Eika's apartment, which is basically one floor below that of Izuku's apartment that he lives with him and his mom after all. Getting patched up, then saying, "Thanks, senpai. And don't mention it. Call it, you owing me a favor in the future, me always doing this for you." And you're basically racking up quite a bit. Then she having that of a husky tone to her saying, "So I'll make sure to collect in the future." Got it. With then Izuku began gulping even more, while his face is turning into that of one giant-ass tomato. With then she saying, "Any rate, rest up here for a little bit, then head up to your apartment. Like I said, don't want to worry Miss Midoriya after all." Within hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but lay down a bit on that of Eika's bed. Even though he won't lie, at first he basically was always embarrassed coming here after at least a few months or so, but now it's just basically became that of a routine. Eika Kiryu. She's the biggest female pervert in our entire school. Reason being is because she harasses a lot of guys, mainly that of young lower classmen such as Izuku. She has some kind of special ability that allows her to basically measure the size of every guy in the school. Hell, even girls when she feels like it, when she needs to try at least. The reason on how they met is because on Izuku's way to school, she basically, ambushed him and was even caught off guard and surprised about a certain thing between his legs that basically led her nose to bleed. Since then, she's basically, been close with Izuku, mainly to clinging on to him from time to time as well. She has helped him out from certain beatings and even led to certain bullies basically being, outed out. It also didn't help his reputation seeing that she is basically the only girl that no guy wants anything to do with, given that she's able to terrify them, knowing on how big they are after all. Hell, even Bakugo of all people, who basically can't stand her, mainly because she has that of blackmail material on him. Knowing that, she has dirt on him that nobody should know about. So, to be honest, Bakugo's bullying towards his former childhood friend is a little bit lesser than it was before at the beginning of their junior high career. As their time goes on, with now Izuku being a second year and her being a third year, this is where things begin to change a little bit for Izuku. And it all started during one day. After school ended, him finishing his homework, he decided to head into that of the city and to head to his favorite bookstore. Now, normally, when he goes to a bookstore, you would think that somebody of his age would go for that of manga or that of textbooks to help out with studying. Nope. Izuku goes to that of the obscure section, that being of Western comics, especially superhero comics. To Izuku, his biggest inspiration has always been superheroes. Sure, there were tons of other inspirations, like in manga and that of anime and even video games a few times, but nothing stuck to him more than the idea of superheroes, saving the day, protecting the innocent, doing what's right, always there for those who are in need, which Izuku always tries to, keep up those ideas for him, but given that this is the real world and there's no such thing as real superheroes, hell, even legends are basically nothing but legends. And there were a few times when he was a kid that he always tried to defend others in need, like Irina, a few other random kids back in elementary school, but as he got older and going through that of Aldera Junior High, getting constantly bullied and nobody trying to help him, except a few times when teachers and a few students and even Eika, but nobody else, he begins to think that the hero lifestyle is basically pointless. But even so, he still can't help but admire heroes like that of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. This isn't part of the story, but yeah, I'm basically adding Marvel and DC into this fanfic story. I'm not doing any bootleg generic superhero from the top of my head. Fuck that. Blame Draxo Ball in this universe. Rant out of the way. With then, Izuku still couldn't help but smile at these heroes, as the current issue he got is that of Superman, an issue before the pre-Infinite Crisis timeline, which Izuku couldn't help but be excited and happy for, as he was able to going to that of the cashier counter, where he was able to pay that of, well, 3,000 yen, to be honest, which is pretty cheap. The only reason is because it's so cheap is because, well, it's Japan. Not a lot of, well, Western comics are popular in this currently right now. But even so, for Izuku's case, he enjoys that even more than anything. With the owner of the bookstore couldn't help but say, honestly, Izuku, gotta say I'm pretty thankful for you, kid. With then Izuku getting a look at the cashier shop owner, as he looked. You would think that a bookstore owner would look quite nerdy or thin. Ironically, the bookstore owner is seriously muscular, masculine as hell, and has quite a bit of a, well, mischievous beard on him. However, the only problem is that the guy always has his eyes closed for some weird reason. With then Izuku saying, well, if anything, I should be thanking you, not the other way around. You having these comics is the only thing that keeps me going at being at Aldera for so long. Within the man saying, that reminds me, I know it's a little early, but what high school do you plan on going to? I know there's only 2 high schools here, saying, oh yeah, I remember, Kuo Academy just became a co-ed school this year, didn't it? Huh, I'm still surprised about that, to be honest. The school has always been that of a all-girls school. Now hearing that it became co-ed about this year, I can't help but be shocked and surprised. But I plan on going to Mizuno Academy, actually. After all, Kuo Academy may have become co-ed, but it's still a prestigious school, to be honest. If I wanted to get into Kuo, I would need that of quite a bit of a scholarship to even allow me to continue going to the school. And given that I, need to work hard to do so, can't be helped. Also, it's an elevation school. Many girls already go to the school, to be honest, so now knowing that it's also a co-ed school, most people would wait to get into the school by that of their second year. If I basically transferred to school in the middle of my, junior high career at Aldera, either their curriculum is higher than mine or lower than me. But even so, I'd rather not take that chance, to be honest. With then hearing that saying, I see you, kid, I see. But can't blame you. It's your choice if you feel like it. Just let you know, I have a little girl that goes to Kuo, actually. If you ever go there, please tell her that, I hope that she's doing well. You don't speak with her? We're currently not on speaking terms, Izuku. Saying, I see. Well then, I'll do what I can, if I do plan on going to Kuo. Anyway, thanks for the comics, Mr. Hamejima. After saying goodbye to the owner, he soon leaves, as the old man couldn't help but smile, saying, good kid. To be honest, normally I would not allow any boy near my little girl. But something about him, I know that he may be something good for her. As then Mr. Hamejima looking down, saying, Akano, it's quite sad, really, that your father had to basically pretend to buy that of a bookstore just so I can keep an eye on you in your king's territory. How pathetic a father like me can be. As the man says this, he soon realized, it's starting to get pretty late. That means, most likely, the supernatural will be coming out more prevalent than before. I really hope Midoriya gets home safe. Also, I could feel it. A fragment of his power. His sacred gear. I should let Azazel know. Knowing that idiot, he's already here in this town, already made that of a safe house. With then pulling out that of his phone, messaging his contact. With Izuku currently heading back to his place as fast as he can. With thinking about taking that of a shortcut instead, realizing it would be a lot more easier. It would cut time for at least that of a good, 10 minutes, to be honest, instead of going to that of the main streets instead. With then cutting through that of the alleyway and heading into that of one of the nearing the district where the abandoned factories are at, actually. Back when he was younger, him and Bakugo, before their friendship basically turned toxic as hell, used to hang around the old factory district back in the day. Originally, it wasn't really that bad as it was before, but now, after years of of the Kuo Academy turning more technological advancements, they don't really need, factories like this anymore, to be fair. But instead of bulldozing or basically tearing down the warehouses instead, they decide to just leave them be and just wait until time basically destroys them as well. So it's just basically nothing but a reminder of Kuo leaving some places behind the times, which Izuku was using this area to get to his home quicker than possible. Soon, as he's getting closer and closer to his home, to that of his, apartment district in Kuo, he soon began to hear a scream saying, "Help!" As it being quite quiet. However, given over the years, Izuku began to develop somewhat of a higher senses. He can't help but notice how he's able to sense things a lot better than before, but his hearing, sense of smell, sight, and even able to sense people even behind him by that of sensing people's mere movements or even something close to that of a seventh sense. He can't help but hear them as he hears the scream again saying, "Please, somebody help me! I don't want to die by a monster!" Hearing this, he thinks that somebody may be, not hallucinating, calling somebody a monster, but then he just pulls out his phone just in case. As he was just about to call, he hears a scream. Within, Izuku decided not to call as he just runs into that of the, warehouse where it's closest. Within, hearing that of the scream, he soon barges into that of the warehouse. Within, Izuku seeing something completely and utterly terrifying, as it almost looked like that of a figure completely made out of slime and sludge, grabbing on to somebody that he knows from Aldera Junior High, a delinquent that sometimes hangs out with Bakugo, but does his own thing just so he can get some kind of popularity after all. Within, Izuku couldn't help but be shocked and surprised seeing both figures, as not entirely surprised seeing one of his bullies here, because some of them like to hang out as well, but seeing some crazy and monstrous creature here in Kuo, something that you would see in that of an anime or that of a comic book. Within, the figure looking at Izuku saying, "Oh, another meal. This is good. This is good indeed. Time for me to feast." Seeing that of the creature's, giant large white teeth with yellow eyes in the sockets. Within, soon, Izuku completely and utterly in fear and shock, looking at something that he never thought he would see in his entire life. Within, soon, seeing that of the other boy, as he has that of black spiky hair with that of a somewhat lean but somewhat muscular appearance. As he's saying, "Help me, please, I'm begging you, I don't want to die to this thing." Seeing the boy's eyes, something in Izuku basically snapped, as then he soon run towards that of the creature, but then saying, "Oh, coming to me, aren't you? Good, I've been needing to feed after all. It's no fun if my food basically runs away from me." As he extends that of a tendril towards that of Izuku. Within, Izuku, in a split second, basically dodges out of the way to the right, with the sledge monster completely caught off guard, as he tries to extend this tendril once again and again and again, with Izuku dodging each one without even realizing it, as he thinks he might be going on adrenaline, as then throwing that of his yellow backpack at the sledge monster. Within, soon, his bag doesn't, do anything. However, one of his pencils and pens basically goes into one of the massive yellow eyes on his left, on that of his left side, with then the monster saying, "Ow, what the hell?" With then soon letting go of the, delinquent, as then Izuku catches him saying, "Ah, there we go. Are you with then saying, "Get off me, let go of me," as he runs as fast as he can, saying, "Blah, I'm not letting that thing eat me again." With then saying, "Wait, we got to. You're on your own, bastard. Like hell I'm getting anywhere close to that thing again." With then running out as fast as he can. With then Izuku was completely and utterly caught off guard at the fact that nobody else, that guy, that of course, even though he was a bully, he didn't even recognize him. And yet he still basically left him behind after he tried to save him. After everything he did. But then the sludge monster, on the other hand, gets his second win. Within saying, "Damn brat. It looks like, even though I lost my first food, I could still eat with you." But then Izuku freaked out, seeing the menacing look of the sludge monster, saying, After all, I could smell something from you. It's quite potent and something else. To be honest, I haven't had something like you in a long time. Could it be? Oh, the smell of a sacred gear user. Now that's something that I haven't had in a while now. I guess that other human was basically worth nothing if it means I get a delicious meal such as you. Within, Izuku said, "Sacred gear user? What's going on? No, I can't, I gotta get out of here. I gotta run. I'm too afraid. I'm too scared. Body is telling me to run as fast as I can, but I can't. I'm so terrified. Not only that, even after doing something right, doing the right thing, then soon, the monster basically opens up his mouth as it almost looks like it's about to chomp down on Izuku, saying, "I was left behind." Remembering of the guy from before, as he just ran off without Izuku or didn't even thank him or help him at all, just left. With then Izuku saying, "Did I do the wrong thing?" With then soon, somebody gets to say, "Did you now, boy? Did you do the wrong thing?" With then soon, for a split second, Izuku, no longer in that of the abandoned warehouse with the monster before, as he looks like he's basically in that of a starry void, where stars are basically everywhere in front of him. With then saying, "Do you believe that what you did was wrong? Do you really regret giving up your life to save such a worthless being? Personally, I believe so. You're going to die at the hands of this worthless devil, all because you wanted to play the hero." Within hearing that, Izuku saying, "Playing hero, huh?" Within Izuku saying, "That's right. I always wanted to be a hero. I always just wanted to save people." Remembering flashes back then when he first met Irina, protecting her from Bakugo. Then there were other times, flashes on when he actually helped other kids, or even people that were just needed things done, to be honest. Just helping them out and protecting. And even if it wasn't superhero-like, he still felt like it was the right thing to do. And even when that guy basically just abandoned him and from saving him and to Izuku, the answer is clear to him, saying, "No, I don't regret it. I don't regret saving his life. He may have ran off and basically abandoned me here, but I don't regret protecting him. A hero's duty is to protect those in need. Even without any reward or any gratitude whatsoever, I would still save him again. It was not a mistake." After saying that, the voice saying, "I got myself quite the interesting one. Not only you have an interesting bloodline, but you got that hero mindset. way more heroic mindset than before. All my other vessels have always been power hungry or always wanting to surpass somebody or even surpass that of the red one as well. Well then, allow me to give you my power, or rather, your power now. Within soon, the stars begin to gather in that of a bright light, as then a figure appears, as it looks like that of a western dragon with elegantly white wings, white scales, and claws, blue as the sky itself. Within, Izuku completely caught off guard, saying, What are you? Saying, my name is Albion. I am the White Dragon of Supremacy. You are my current host, who wields the power of dividing. I'm surprised that I'm able to come this close to you, and that you're able to be aware of me. Honestly, normally it's impossible for the beings inside of a sacred gear to interact with their host, but it seems that your will to not just stand by and do nothing, your will alone basically interacted with me. Now that's something. That's never happened before. It's normally my wielder basically coming to interact with me by force, or they come to that of a life and death situation before my power awakens. You are in the life and death situation, but there wasn't a catalyst that basically that would force me to awaken. Hell, even if I did, it would be that of a fragment state, given on how fragile this so-called life and death situation is. I mean, please, a low-class stray devil basically taking out my current host? How pathetic is that? Well, then Izuku saying, sorry if I'm not to your liking, saying, I never said that, boy. I only said that you're an interesting one. And I did say that your blood is also interesting too. And I told you, my power is now your power. So, what will you do, partner? How will you use my power? Within hearing this, Izuku began to think and began to say, are monsters like this more prevalent than anything? Saying, of course, this is due to that of devils straying away from their master, causing them to mutate and turn into this. Because of that, it's more of a mercy to put down creatures like this, to be honest. Basically giving them a peaceful release, if you can. Within hearing this, Izuku doesn't want to kill somebody. If anything, he despises it. But seeing the sludge monster, seeing that it looked like it was doing things by instincts. It didn't really care on what happened or anyone that it grabbed. Like its only instinct was to feed. Here, knowing this, soon Izuku nodding, saying, I want your power, Albion. I want to use his power to not just defend myself, but others as well. And I don't like killing, if anything. I despise it with a passion. Because if I kill, I am no better than the villains who take lives themselves. Within, soon hearing this, Albion couldn't help but laugh again, saying, I really did hit the jackpot. I did get the ultimate hero-type vessel of all things. Now this is amazing. Alright, Izuku Midoriya. Show me what you can do with the wings of the White One. Within, after that, the lights begin to fully scatter and go into that of Izuku. As then soon, white scale-like protrusions began to come out of Izuku's back. However, soon, instead of that of wings of a dragon that you would normally see or that of the feathery white wings of Albion, instead, the wings take on that of an astral dragonic blue, almost like made out of pure energy itself. Within soon, Izuku, completely and utterly caught off guard by this, as he begins to feel an immense power coursing through his body now. getting out of the mindscape as the bright flash begins to engulf him and the whole area inside. As the sludge devil was about to chomp down on Izuku, soon a blast of light begins to emerge from Izuku, knocking back the slime devil, within saying, "What? But how?" With then dividing begins to fully emerge from Izuku's back, within the power radiating off of him as well, within saying, How is this possible? That this can't be!" With then soon Izuku saying, "You're a devil, a stray devil, right?" With then soon the sludge devil saying, "What? Of course I am," saying, "Why? I don't understand you devils, but why? Why would you become this? Why would you turn like this? Please answer me, why? Why go this far?" But then saying, "I wanted things. I wanted everything. I wanted women, men, power, money, prestige, all of it. But of course, my damn master, that damn prick, didn't want to share a damn thing with me. I joined him for all of that, and yet I couldn't even have a single fraction of it. All I was doing was basically nothing but his dirty work. I refuse to be somebody's lapdog. If I had to become a monster to get the things I want, then so be it." Saying, "But you haven't. You haven't gotten a damn thing. Look at you. You're nothing but a monster. You don't have the things that you said you have. All you've been doing is eating and devouring people. What good is that?" With then saying, "It's only a stepping stone," as he lunges for Izuku. With then soon Izuku grabbing on, as the sledge arms are about to grab onto him, he soon just stops them with only his right hand. Within soon the sledge monster could help us be shocked and surprised, saying, "What?" As then he begins to feel his power being drained away, saying, "What? How is this divide?" As then a burst of energy coming off of the sledge devil goes into that of Izuku, within saying, "This is the power dividing. I can feel his strength coming into me, making me stronger." Within soon Izuku having that of a serious look on his face, as then soon the sledge monster does it again, slams his fist once more over and over and over again. But for Izuku, he basically counters each and every one of those fists with his own, as instead of them feeling gooey or basically going through that of the sledge villain, it seems he might be making his sledge more solid and have a lot more mass behind it, so he can basically deal that of heavy blows onto him instead of the other way around. With every punch that the sledge devil deals, Izuku does the same, and with every punch that it also lands, Izuku grows stronger, sapping away the sledge devil's strength bit by bit. Within soon, Izuku has reached his limit, and the same also goes for the stray devil as well, as he looks like that of a pile of slag. As all you could see is basically his face saying, "How? This can't be. I didn't know your sacred gear was this powerful." With then Izuku saying, Neither did I. So part of me must say thank you. Thank you for helping me awaken it. And also, part of me wants to apologize as well for ending your life. So I hope maybe next time that you have that of a better life, and may you rest in peace. Within soon, with that, bringing back his fist as blue-greenish energy begins to emerge all around that of Izuku, with it saying, "Wait, please, don't do this. You can't take away my life." Saying, "I'm sorry, I really am. I don't want to do this, but I need to. So you won't hurt anyone else, and so you can live and so you can move on to the afterlife." With then and that of a burst of speed as greenish light blue energy begins to come off of that dividing as Izuku rushes towards that of the sludge devil. Within, he tries to scream out, "No!" Before Izuku screams out, "Detroit Smash!" Slamming his fist into that of the sludge villain as everything basically goes everywhere. However, as soon as the sludge basically goes everywhere, it also begins to dissolve, almost like it was that the head alone was basically keeping everything in check and also keeping him alive. As Izuku begins to feel the life force from the stray sludge devil basically go everywhere before nothing remains as well. However, during that time, there was also a delayed shockwave within that of the warehouse from Izuku's fist. As the metal begins to creak, alongside that of the glass begins to completely and utterly shatter everywhere. Then Izuku noticing what he did, saying, "Oh boy, I really hope nobody notices that." Within, somebody clapping, saying, "Not bad, kid. Not bad indeed." Within, soon Izuku freaking out, saying, what's going on? I'm sorry, I didn't know that." Whoa, now. No need to feel freaked out, kid. I'm just surprised to think that a Longina sacred gear user was in this town. And who knew that Grummery and Citri were basically sitting on a gold mine right here. And not just any Longina sacred gear, dividing. And I'm guessing that makes you the White Dragon Emperor of this generation. Within, Izuku completely and utterly confused, saying, "White Dragon Emperor and Grummy and Citri? What is that?" Within, saying, "Oh, looks like we got some company here. Your power alone must have really brought them here. And I'm guessing they might have had a contract to kill this monster too." So, after saying that, 12 black feathers begin to emerge from the man's back. Within, Izuku completely and utterly caught off guard by the massive feathers, as then they begin to emerge around that of Izuku, and then a massive spell circle begins to engulf them as well. At the same time, the feathers begin to fall before disappearing as well. As then, arriving to that of the massive, warehouse that now is basically somewhat semi-destroyed, being that of a girl with crimson red hair and a girl with that of long black hair and a ponytail. Within, the crimson-haired girl being Rias, saying, "What just happened here? And what happened to the stray?" Within, the other girl saying, "Rias, I think somebody might have already taken care of it." Within, the Rias saying, "Could it have been Sona?" "No, unlikely. It couldn't have been her. She would have told me that she was taking care of it." So, within, Rias looking at that of Akeno, saying, "Akeno, we need to scatter the area. We need to find on who took care of this." Within, Akeno saying, "Yes, mistress." As that, both girls begin to fly away with their devil wings. With Izuku, on the other hand, now in that of a massive, penthouse apartment, currently still in Kuo, with multiple antiques and being that ranging from that of ancient artifacts to gaming consoles to even that of surprisingly great relics as well. Within, Izuku completely caught off guard and shocked, saying, What was that? What just happened?" Saying, "Easy now, kid. I just brought you here. As much as I want to give those girls as much as I, basically would have liked to scare those girls about me being here, I don't want to cause any trouble for my faction, and I don't want to get on their siblings' bad side." Within, Izuku's saying, "What's going on, and who are you?" Saying, "I should bring that up. The name is Azazel, fallen angel Azazel. And you, Izuku Midoriya, like I told you, you are this generation's White Dragon Emperor. And it seems like you have now entered in a whole different world. Welcome to the world of the supernatural. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. And yes, this is going to be the first of, well, three prologue chapters that focus on the past of Izuku and how much he developed to become what he is now, being the White Dragon Emperor. And I will tell you this, no. During the time of this story, in the beginning, he's not on Ultimate Class. Not on the same level as Volley was from when he first appeared in the show. So no, even with Balance Breaker, he's not Ultimate Class. And no, he hasn't awakened his Balance Breaker yet. But he will. Sooner or later, he will. If I had to say, in the current timeline, he's at least high class. High at the peak of Ultimate Class soon yet. But not there yet. And through these chapters, we're going to see them. And yeah, Bakugo's also in this story, but he's going to be playing more of a side role in this story, after all. As for Eika, I will tell you this now. Yes, she's also part of the harem. She wouldn't get this close to Izuku unless she can get something out of it. And we all know what she wants to get out of it with Izuku. So yes, worry for the Green Cinnamon roll. Be worried indeed. Anyway, don't worry. Like I said, this is basically on how Izuku became part of Rias's peerage. This is just going to show that Azazel actually had some, well, involvement with Izuku. So when they interact again, it's not going to feel like some weird cause. I mean, after all, Azazel has a strong connection to both, well, Dragon Emperors in canon. I still want to keep that connection, but I'm going to make it a little bit differently. Just wait and see, guys. So, next couple of chapters, we're going to be going through that of Izuku's training arc phase. So yeah, any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep to date my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. I'll link in the description below if I'm not too lazy to do so. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and I hope you all take care.